For the next few minutes, we're going to take a look at Active Directory sites and services. Sites and services really is the logical view of how Active Directory communicates between the many different domain controllers and site boundaries, what defines a site inside Active Directory. This is to help better facilitate user login processes as well as other services that may be given. So here we are with our default first site. Notice all our domain controllers are currently assigned to this site. There is no subnets defined either. Now, subnets play an important role in sites and services because it helps tie services to a client when it's requested. For example, when your client logs in, well, one of the first things Active Directory does is find out which domain controller should be facilitating that login or that lookup for services. Also, your inter-site transports. These are the guys that are responsible for replication between domain controllers. By default, IP is going to be your best method to do this. It's very fast and very efficient. If you have a smaller or slower connection, you may choose to enable the SMTP inter-site transports. This way it can send smaller data packets, but replication still gets done, albeit a little bit slower. So for example, we're going to now expand our business. We've set up an office in Boston, and they want to make sure that their users can log in successfully all the time, and they don't want to have to come across the WAN to do that. And so that we're going to type in Boston for the name. We're going to select our transport as IP-based. It's a very well-connected site. And we now have two sites, Boston and our default first site. Now, the first step we need to do is we need to move a domain controller into Boston to service that area. So AD02 has been staged already, and we're going to go ahead and assign him to the Boston field office. Now, you may think that that work's over, but it's not quite done yet. We now need to tell Active Directory what Boston is. It knows it's a site, but how can we substantiate, based off information provided by the client, what constitutes or what belongs in Boston? To do that, we're going to add some subnets. And so we're going to right-click subnets and go to New Subnet. For example, our wired clients are going to be 10.208.251 and a Class C subnet. Now notice it does the calculation for us into the /bitsmast method. So you can enter it this way and then confirm that it matches what your networking team has provided for that site to be assigned. Select Boston and click OK. Now, if we needed to add another subnet, let's say maybe for some wireless clients, we can do the same thing again. New subnet, 10.208.249, and we're going to make this a Class C as well. Again, select Boston and click OK. It's important to note that we now need to also define the subnet for our main site so that it knows what it is. So we're going to assign 10.208.248 and Class C again to the default first site. Now with this information entered, if we were to look at the Boston item properties, notice it has both subnets listed, and so this site is now defined as the subnets 249 and 251, and it will be serviced by the domain controller USDN-AD02.